Good morning, class. Today we are going to discuss about the polar and non-polar molecules electric field effect. Okay, as we have studied that what are the polar molecules in which the center of gravity and the center of gravity of positive is not going to coincide with center of gravity of negative charge. In which they are going to coincide, they are termed as non-polar molecule, right? Now today we are going to discuss that what is the effect of electric field in both of the molecules. So firstly we will discuss the effect of the electric field on polar molecules. For polar molecules we are going to study. Now polar molecule is what? In which the center of gravity of positive is not going to coincide with center of gravity of negative. For example, oxygen and water. I have given you the example also. For example, oxygen have how many electron on its outermost shell? That is 6, 3, 4, 5, and this one is 6. This is not there. Okay. So now hydrogen will have only one its electron. Again hydrogen have only one electron. So in order to complete its electron octet complete, what is going to be done here, that hydrogen is going to donate its electron to the oxygen because it is accepting the electron, so that's why the negative charge is attained by it. Similarly here the positive charge, because it is going to give its electron. Similarly again this hydrogen will be positive. So basically this negative and positive going to create the dipole, and again here is again going to be creating the dipole moment. So the polar molecule, as I told you earlier also, that they have permanent dipole moment. Now we are going to study that how they behave in the electric field. If the electric field is not present, let's say this is a substance, that it is any kind of substance, and what it possesses, it possesses various kind of dipole here. Let's say like this. Okay, what happen if external field or is saying to be 0, okay, or your applied field is 0, then in that case these dipoles are aligned randomly here and there, where they want to live they will. Okay, so in this case the net dipole moment is going to be 0 because they are not arranged in a specific manner. They are randomly oriented. Randomly oriented means they don't have any specific direction. Okay, but when the field is applied, what is seen, when the field is applied, all the dipoles move along with the applied electric field. Let's say this is your molecules, this is your negative, this is your positive, negative, positive, and this is negative and positive, right? So when the field is applied, let's say E naught is the field you have applied, so what you are saying, that all the dipoles get aligned in the direction of applied electric field. So why it happens here, the net dipole moment is not equal to 0, it is some value. Okay, here the dipole is oriented randomly and the alignment is in the form of chain. So that's why the net dipole moment is going to be 0. But in this case, each molecule experience torque. What it experience? It experience torque. Now what is torque? Torque is force into perpendicular distance. Now what is the factor that all the dipole get aligned in the direction of applied field? The torque is the factor that will help them to align in the direction of applied field. Okay, the molecule ally them in the direction of applied electric field. Okay, so that's why the dipole is going to be get added up, hence they possess dipole moment. Why they possess dipole moment? Because they experience, all the molecule here present are experiencing the torque. The torque will ally them in the direction of applied field, and that's why they possess the dipole moment. So you can say, you can make a conclusion. What is the conclusion here? Conclusion is this: if electric field is absent, if applied field is equals to 0, the net dipole moment is also going to be 0. But if electric field is not equal to 0, that means you are applying some electric field, then the dipole moment is also not equals to 0. Now why it happens, I explain it to you, right? Now next is your non-polar molecule. Non-polar molecule, for example, H2N2, these are the example of non-polar molecule in which the center of gravity and the positive and the negative charge is going to be coincide. For example, hydrogen, its one electron is here, another hydrogen, its one electron is here. They form the bond by mutual sharing of electrons. So this is the kind of non-polar molecule. Now, what is there in absence of, let's say this is your molecule, that is your non-polar molecule. Okay, in the case of non-polar molecule, as we know that the center of positive and negative charge is going to coincide. As it is going to coincide and the electric field is also going to be equals to 0, so in that case the dipole moment is also going to be 0, because you have not applied any electric field here. But as the field is applied, let's say this is your non-polar molecule, now field is going to applied from here to here. Then what happened? The positive charge is moved along the electric field, and the negative charge that is going to move away from the applied electric field. Now they are not going to coincide, they just form the stretching kind of a membrane. What is going, as you field is applied, as you apply field, the positive charge will move along the electric field, whereas the negative charge is moving or pulled along the opposite to that of the field. Now it will continue till the electric force, or you can say till the force applied by the electricity will becomes equals to the restoring force. Now restoring force means this positive and negative charge is going to crack in a similar manner. Okay, now this is termed as this kind of a stretching in a non-polar molecule is only temporary. It happens only till you applied the electric field. So in this case, now the net dipole moment is also not going to be 0. So this if you are doing the non-polar molecule in electric field, basically the induced dipole moment develop. Induced dipole moment develop. Now when induced dipole moment will be developed, it will develop only and only when you will apply electric field over the non-polar molecule. Okay, so this is the effect of the dielectric field, or effect of the electric field on the polar as well as your non-polar molecule. Clear? So you can say when the electric field is not applied to the polar molecule, in that case the net dipole moment is also 0, because they are randomly oriented, while when they applied here, all the molecule experience torque, and torque will help them to align the direction of applied field. So that's why there is no net dipole moment is not equal to 0. In the case here, the positive and negative charge is going to coincide, so that's why the net dipole moment is 0. But here when the field is applied, positive move along the electric field, negative opposite to the electric field, so that's why there is a kind of stretching, and that stretching will develop induced dipole moment in a molecule. But this induced dipole moment is not permanent. As electric field is removed, this induced dipole moment is also going to be vanished from here. Okay, so that's what we have studied. Now next is your electric field due to polarization. What is polarization? Here we are going to study is polarization vector. These kind of a thing, when charges move away from one another and create its own electric field, that is represented by the vector known as polarization vector. Now what is polarization vector? It is denoted by P vector firstly. Okay, it is basically the ratio of the induced dipole moment. I told you previously that what is induced dipole moment, as I have discussed it yet. Induced dipole moment per unit volume. What is polarization vector? Polarization vector is induced dipole moment per unit volume and denoted by P here. Okay, let's say that we have a dielectric. Let's say we made a dielectric here. Dielectric slab is there. Okay, so this is your dielectric slab consisting of a molecules or induced dipole moment here. Okay, so these are the kind of molecule. It is negative, 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 and here positive, 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 here positive, all are the positive, and here all are negative, right? Now what is this dielectric slab is placed between two parallel plates. Okay, this plate have the surface charge density as plus sigma. This plate has the surface charge density as minus sigma. These are the two plates, and in between them the dielectric slab is placed. Let's say the thickness of the slab is denoted by D. Okay, now if n is the number of electron, or you can say if n is the number of atom, okay, number of atom per unit volume, then dipole moment will be developed. Okay, then polarization vector in that case will be equals to n, and this is p. Okay, how you will write? Now the dielectric assumed to have dipole. Now this dielectric is what? This dielectric will assume to have its own dipole. How? As if I see from here, this positive and this negative is going to be cancelled because they are very close to one another, so that's why they just get cancelled. This negative positive lie, so that's why the dipole moment exists. Now in order to write the dipole, that means P, in order to write the dipole, area of the slab is, let's say, that is your A. Okay, and the thickness of the slab, as I told you, thickness of the slab is D. Okay, so what about the dipole moment then? Dipole moment is charge into specific lengths. So charge due to polarization and specific length is obviously its thickness. Okay, give it equation number 1. Okay, if sigma p, if you can write sigma p here, if sigma p is the polarization density, then what happened? Then what will be the charge? You know sigma is equals to q by a, right? So q will be equals to sigma p a. P because it is here polarization, so that's why sigma p you will write here. Okay, now put 2 in 1. So you just put here dipole moment will be equals to, that is qp d. Okay, so qp value is sigma p a and d. This ad is nothing but it is the volume. This ad is what? This is the volume. As you know, volume is what? Length into breadth into height. You can write it as area, and height you can write it as distance also, right? So that's why it is being replaced by v. Okay, so polarization vector will be, what happened to the polarization vector? As we know, polarization vector is induced dipole moment per unit volume. So polarization vector, as by its definition, now induced dipole moment is sigma p v, and per unit volume means v se divide kar lo, right? V and v will be going to cut, so p will be equals to sigma p. That means polarization vector is always equals to the induced surface charge density. Now how the question will come, that find out the relation between the magnitude of polarization vector and induced surface charge density. So basically this relation is known as relation of polarization vector with induced surface charge density. Okay, where this p will be there na, that means induced, it is going to be induced. Okay, so induced surface charge density. Now my question is that what is the relation between the polarization vector and the induced surface charge density? So this is your relation, right? So in this way we have calculated the relation between them. Okay, next topic is reduced electric field by polarization of the dielectric. Okay, next topic is reduced electric field. Now whenever the dielectric is placed between the two parallel plates, electric field is always going to reduced. Now how much amount is going to be reduced, that we are going to be calculated, that due to the polarization what is the value of the reduced electric field and how you are going to calculate it. So let's say again we have a parallel plates. Now the dielectric is going to insert in between them here like this. Now the molecules are there in this way. This is the molecules they have, or you can say the dipole moment they have. Okay, So these are the dipole moment. This is negative, 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 positive, 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 positive. This is positive, 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 positive. This is negative, negative, negative. So this dotted line, or you can say this dotted rectangular, what I am going to make is, this will be cancelled out as the distance between these charges is going to be very, very small. This is having the surface charge density as minus sigma. This will having the surface charge density as plus sigma. So as the negative charge is going to induced here, so that's why the negative induced polar charge surface charge density will be there. As there is the positive charge, so that's why here is the positive surface charge density. Okay, so that's why how I am going to write. Now electric field is applied here also. Okay, now as we know that what is the value of electric field inside a conductor? Electric field inside a conductor, we have derived it in a class also, that electric field inside a conductor is always given by E is equals to sigma over epsilon naught. Give it equation number 1. Okay, now when dielectric slab is going to introduce, the induced electric field arise. Induced electric field arise means this is EP. As you know, this charge and this charge create its own electric field, that is known as induced electric field. Okay, and if the sigma p positive and sigma p negative is its surface charge density, so you can write that the due to dielectric the induced electric field will be there. Okay, electric field, as I say induced word, wherever there is induced word you have to put the p term there. So induced electric field will be EP, and EP will be similar as that of it, sigma p over epsilon naught. Give it equation number 2. Now if we want to write the magnitude of electric field, what is the total electric field here, magnitude of electric field, so that will be equals to E is equals to E naught minus EP. Why it is minus? Minus because its direction is opposite to that of the electric field. Okay, so that's why. So E naught minus EP. So put the value E naught is equals to sigma over epsilon naught, and EP is equals to sigma p over epsilon naught. So whenever you take the LCM, it will comes at sigma minus sigma p, and this is the value of the reduced electric field. On introduction of dielectric slab between the two parallel plates, the electric field is always going to be reduced, and its magnitude is always equals to sigma minus sigma p over epsilon naught. Okay, next is your dielectric constant. Now what is dielectric constant? Dielectric constant is denoted by K. Okay, as you have studied it also. Here in the case of this dielectric, what is dielectric constant? Dielectric constant is ratio of the applied electric field to that of the reduced electric field. Okay, what it is? It is a ratio. Ratio किसका? Of applied electric field, okay, to that of the reduced electric field. Okay, if you want to write it further, you can write it as E naught upon E. Okay, or you can write it as K. E naught is equals to sigma. E naught is equals to sigma over epsilon naught, no? So sigma over epsilon naught, and E is equals to sigma minus sigma p over epsilon naught. So epsilon naught and epsilon naught is going to be cut. So what you have? You have K is equals to sigma over sigma minus sigma p. This is also the expression for the dielectric constant. And remember that the applied field is always greater than that of the reduced electric field. So K is always more than 1. It is not going to less than 1. It is always going to more than 1. Why? Because applied electric field is always going to be more as compared to that of the reduced electric field. So that's why it is like this. Okay. Next is your relationship between surface charge density and induced surface charge density. What is the relation? You have to find the relation between surface charge density means sigma and induced surface charge density. Induced surface charge density means sigma p. You have to calculate the relationship between these two. Now, as we know, whenever we are going to insert the dielectric slab between the two plates, the electric field is going to reduce, and the electric field will be E naught minus EP. As we know here from the previous equation, I have written this, as we have told you that E naught is always equals to E naught minus EP. Okay, so there we have written. Now E naught is equals to, that is sigma over epsilon naught, and EP is equals to, that is sigma p over epsilon naught. This is again from the previous one. Okay, also you know that E naught upon E is equals to K, right? Dielectric constant is also this, no? So from here, if you want to calculate E, that will be equals to E naught upon K is equals to E. Is there any problem to write like this? There should be no problem. So E naught value is sigma over epsilon naught, so sigma K over epsilon naught. Okay. So now we are going to put this value now in equation number 1. We are going to, this E is going to put here. So we have sigma K epsilon naught is equals to sigma over epsilon naught minus sigma p over epsilon naught. Is there any problem? Should not be. Okay, your aim is to calculate sigma p, no? So what we have sigma k epsilon naught minus of sigma epsilon naught minus sigma p over epsilon naught. You can write it like this also, no? So in order to cancel this negative sign, what we have to do? We have to write it fast. Minus sigma over epsilon naught, and take the common thing, minus sigma k epsilon naught. Here minus sigma p over epsilon naught. So sigma and sigma is going to cancel out. Okay. Now what is going to do is epsilon naught bhi cut kar lete hain. 1 over epsilon naught is going to be taken as constant. So it is sigma and this should be, yes, this should be epsilon naught, and this will be k, and here sigma p over epsilon naught. So epsilon naught and epsilon naught is also going to be cut. Okay, you can write it like sigma over 1 here, because if it is going to be taken common, so we have only this much. Okay, there should be no issue. And if sigma is going to be taken as common, so we have k, and this is k minus 1 is equals to sigma p, right? This one will be your relation. Now we know that dielectric constant is always going to be greater than that of 1. It should be more than that of 1, as I told you previously. Okay, so induced surface charge density on the dielectric slab is always less than that of its surface charge density. So what is sigma p? That is going to be less than that of the induced surface charge density. Okay, so this is basically your relation. Okay, if the gap between the oppositely charged is filled with the conductor instead of dielectric. Now if this gap is also going to be filled with the conductor, then in that case the electric field inside the conductor is going to be 0. Okay, so in that case the electric field is 0. Okay, if gap is filled with conductor, तो कंडक्टर में तो 0 होती है, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इज 0 in that case. Okay, so in that case EP will be equals to E naught, or you can say that sigma p over epsilon naught will be equals to sigma over epsilon naught. Epsilon naught and epsilon naught is going to be cut, so what you have, sigma p is equals to sigma, right? So this is your relationship between the induced surface charge density to the surface charge density. So this is what we are going to discuss. Next is your electrical susceptibility. Electrical susceptibility is denoted by chi m. Okay, now electrical susceptibility, that is the quantitative measure of the extent to which an electric field applied to a dielectric substance causes polarization. Okay, with this the polarization is going to be created. That means polarization is directly proportional to the applied field. to the applied field, that is E naught. Okay, and you can write epsilon naught also with it. Okay, so P is, when this constant of proportionality is going to removed, it is responsive, it is just replaced by a constant, that is chi. This is named as chi, and E should be there because it is electrical, so that's why epsilon naught, and this is E naught. Okay, so this value will should, what is the electric susceptibility? That is the ratio of the polarization factor to its applied electric field. This is what you have. This is the electrical susceptibility. So for today video we have studied lots of things, and I think you understand it better. Go through the video for the better understanding, so that every concept is formed in your mind. Thank you and have a nice day.